My name is Josh Segabarth. I'm on ladder 24A shift. We're out here at this little strip mall here. We're going to talk about vertical ventilation, scene size up, and the role and responsibility of each crew member. Initially, on our way here, our size up starts obviously with our pre-fire plan, knowing our first due, knowing the buildings around us, going out, getting on top of them, getting 360 view going on, walking through these buildings. Once the call comes out, the initial information that we have on the truck through the MCT, what the occupancy is, who called it in, what time of day it is, and what that PTI says. Mapping, obviously we're going to try to take the quickest route to get here. There's some tools on the MCT that we can use, sometimes depending on how much time we have before we get here, that are going to tell us a little bit about the building. As we're coming up, trying to take a look at as many sides of it as we can as we're getting on scene, listening to the radio, the on-scene reports. What are they reporting when they get on scene? Heavy smoke, light smoke, do they have fire? What size line those guys are taking in is going to might tell us a little bit. If they're pulling a 2-inch line into a building like this, might tell us that they think that they have a pretty good fire in there. Once we get on scene, going on scene, getting a report from command as far as what they want us to do, taking a look at where they've stretched their hand lines, what doors they're going in, what do we see from the building, where's the smoke coming from, what's the building itself look like. This one that we're going to do today, it looks like it has a mansard along the front. So it would be hard for us to ladder this on the front. We would have to go to either the west or east end or the back. How's access for us getting into a parking lot like this with the truck? We don't want to clog the scene up, and this is a building that you're potentially going to lay several supply lines to. We don't want to block access for those engines doing that, but we also want to have a defensive spot and be able to set the stick up if things change. As far as the role of each person on the truck, as the captain, again, you're listening to the radio, doing all the radio work. Once you get on scene, or once you arrive, announce that you're on scene, get an order from command, repeat that order, let them know that you understand whatever that is. Copy, we're going to go to the roof, assume roof sector. What I usually do is I'll throw my bottle, grab an axe, grab a pike pole, and start to do a little bit more size up. I might not necessarily lap a building this size, but take a look on a couple sides of it, maybe poke my head inside and see which way the interior guys have gone. If they've taken their line in this door, did they go right or did they go left? Our down engineer is going to be throwing if we're going to use a ground ladder, he's going to be throwing the ground ladder. If it's a 2-man ladder, the other engineer will be helping him with that. And then we have a firefighter on our truck. He's going to be, he's responsible for, again, throwing his SCBA, getting an axe, and getting the saws, the appropriate saws. We'll bring the chainsaw and the circular saw at least to the base of the ladder. On a building like this, it doesn't appear that we're going to need the metal saw. We'll leave that on the truck, and while we're up there, the down engineer might use that to cut some doors or soften the building a little bit. Also, the down engineer will be securing utilities if he can, getting us a second means of egress, whether that be throwing another ladder or putting the bucket up, and also think about getting us a water supply if we're going to need that. That's his job, is to get with an engine, whether it be getting a supply line to the ladder so we can take lines off the bucket, or securing a hand line for us. On a building this size, I'm probably looking for him to be pulling a hand line, or at least securing a hand line for us if we need it, and if he needs to attach a high-rise pack to it. As far as ventilation goes, once we get up to the roof, we're gonna take a look and see what we have, what kind of load is on the roof, what kind of conditions do we have, anything obvious, smoke, any fire. We're gonna report to command, give them a roof report as soon as we get up there, tell them what we see. Also communicate with the interior crews and find out what they have. Where do they think the fire is? That's gonna tell us where we need to go and put us a little closer to being right above that fire. Obviously sounding is one of the most important things. We're going to start sounding. In this building, we're going to simulate that there's a fire in the southwest corner of the building in the kitchen area when we do our cut. So when we get off the ladder, we're probably going to head to the south, walk in the bearing wall. We're going to cut an inspection hole. Once we make our inspection hole, that's going to tell us a couple things. It's going to tell us what the construction of the building is, which way the purlins are going, which in turn is going to dictate how we make our louver cut. It's going to tell us what kind of conditions there are in the attic, if there is indeed an attic space. Do we have smoke? Do we have fire?
You have smoke from the inspection hole, no fire in the attic space. I copy. Interior is saying that they have a lot of high heat from the southwest corner of the building.
We're going to continue along the bearing wall until we reach the area that we want to cut. We're going to come out, again, sounding the whole time. Do a louver cut. The backup guy will hand me his pike pole, use two hands to back the cut guy up. I'll be sounding for them, making sure that they're staying in a good area. Once we complete the louver cut, I'll give the pike pole back to the other engineer. We'll pop the louvers, make sure that we drop the ceiling. If there's a drop ceiling underneath, you know, we can't tell that from here. But yeah, make sure that we drop that drywall or whatever, and then give a report to command as far as what we got from our hole. Do we have fire? Do we have smoke? And again, talk to the interior crews, see what they have. Are the conditions improving for them? And then we're going to determine if we need to make another hole, or if that's adequate. And if we need to make another hole, again, that's going to be come through communication with the interior crews and command. And then once we've determined that we're not going to cut another hole, we're going to follow our same path that we took out there, sounding, walking the bearing wall, and getting off the roof, and then giving command to report, letting them know that we're off the roof, we have a PAR, and then we're going to start addressing salvage overhaul.
Roof sector to command.
Commander, roof sector, go ahead.
We're off the roof with the PAR.